Welcome. You're listening to Leaders Lounge live and unmuted with Steve Hamilton. Today, so many leaders are feeling stuck, isolated, and uninspired. This podcast will help you master your framework, connect with the community of leaders, and reignite the devotion for what you do. Some of the brightest leaders of today will be joining the conversation, sharing the joys of leadership, their vision of the future, uncovering blind spots and pitfalls, as well as what they do to maintain their footing. If you're looking for candid conversation, this is the podcast for you. Help us by staying connected and subscribe to YouTube as well as SteveHamiltonMinistries.com. Now let's get started.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leaders Lounge. Welcome to this week's episode. We are glad to have you in with us, and we hope that you will be blessed by tonight's lesson. We ask that you please do us a big favor and like, share, and tag all of your friends and followers and help them to be able to get in on this lesson, especially those that are leaders, those that are trying to take their people where they've never been before and that have a call on their life. We want to talk to you tonight for just a brief while. And we apologize for being a little tardy, but we're here and we're glad to be with you and glad to have you along for the ride. Tonight, I want to talk, hey, Sarah, tonight I want to talk from the topic, pace yourself. Little by little, pace yourself. Learn how to pace yourself. Learn how to move at the right pace. Many times, one of our problems that we have as leaders is we are wanting to get things done overnight. We want things to change. We want things to, happen. The idea that we get in our mind, we want it to come to pass overnight. Praising Sister Woods. Well, you lead. You have been a leader and are leading anyway. But a lot of things we want to have things happen overnight. The moment we think of them, the moment we get the assignment, the moment we have the idea, we want to be able to do it overnight. But most leaders learn over their career that most great things, most good things don't happen overnight. Most things take time to develop, and you have to learn how to go at the right pace and understand that you can't make everything happen overnight. You can't make it happen right away. As much as you may have the zeal and the energy and sometimes even the resources to do it, some things just take time to fall into place. Growth doesn't happen overnight. I'm watching as my wife Carla and my son they're starting to plant some stuff out in the backyard, and they're and what's interesting is that when you start growing things and you start doing all that kind of stuff, you have to have patience. You have to be able to do the work, set things up, and then make sure the conditions are the way they should be. But you have to be patient and wait for them to grow, to develop. Sometimes we get a new assignment and we are just ready for the assignment to happen as we see it in our mind overnight. We want things to go our way. We want to make it happen and get this done. And I understand getting it done as soon as possible. I understand moving, but there's something to be said about pacing yourself, something to be said about learning how to just kind of slow down a bit and let things develop. A lot of things have to do with timing, but timing is contingent on you moving at the right pace at the right time. I'm thinking a lot about, especially in terms of where I'm going and headed as far as my career and what I'm doing. And one of the interesting things about it, and I keep coming back to the idea of a relay race, a passing of the baton. And when you're passing the baton, and I'm going to deal with that a lot, down the line. But as you're passing the baton, you realize that it's when you're in the race, you get ready to move forward. You're getting ready to pass it. You have to be going at the right pace, and the one that's going to receive it has to be going at the right pace. They can't take off too soon, because then they'll leave the passing lane. They'll leave that behind, and then they'll be disqualified. You can't go too late, because then now you're making them look like they're going too fast. But then at the same time, you can't run up their back either. You can't be so quick to try to get everything done. And so you have to be able to get the right pace, and that takes practice. That takes time. One of the great lessons I learned, and I've shared it with you all as leaders quite often over the years, but I remember when I first started pastoring, when I first took over the church, and some of you on here now were around when that happened. Sister Woods was around. And when I took over the church, I was, I had it in my mind. I understood I had to go at a slower pace. In other words, I had to take my time before implementing all the great new ideas I thought I had and all that stuff. But at the same time, I was working really hard. I was slow, measured in implementing things, but I was running at a fast pace. What I mean by that is I was not trying to implement everything, but I was trying to use my energy to do everything I could. And I had a dear friend that the Lord had, he said the Lord had given him our ministry. And he said, you've been praying for us and interceding. He was a great prophetic voice, Elder Michael Patrick. And the Lord would use him as he does other people now in my life. But when he was alive, he would call me at strategic times, at times where the Lord would just move on him to call me. He said, I was thinking about you in prayer today. And one particular time he called me and he said, and I passed this on to other young pastors and new pastors. I just did it recently, as a matter of fact. But he told me, he said, the Lord has called you to pastor, not to exhaustion. I'll say it again. The Lord has called you to pastor, but not to exhaustion. In other words, don't wear yourself out too soon. Don't burn out too soon because you're trying to go at the fastest pace possible. You're trying to just go out like gangbusters, as they used to say, and you're trying to do it with as much energy, and you're just running. And at the same time, I'm working full-time job. I'm doing all these things, and I'm trying to make this happen with my will and my energy. And he said, the Lord has called you to pastor, but he hasn't called you, bless you, Pastor Marcus. He hasn't called you to exhaustion. He hasn't called you to burn out and to wear yourself out trying to do everything too soon. You have to pace yourself. And he said, the Lord is going to send you pillars. He's going to send you people. And that's just what the Lord did. He's going to send you pillars that are going to help you do the job. It's kind of reminiscent of what Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, told him. He said, you can't sit here and judge these people and deal with these people's issues all day long. You said you got to divide them up, and you got to get some captains over these people. You got to share the load. And so many of us are, and we find ourselves, even after you've been pastoring, for a long time or leading for a long time, you'll find yourself slipping back into, I got to do it myself mode. I got to take over this thing myself. I gotta make this happen. And the fact of the matter is, the Lord is not trying to give you too much too soon. The Lord is not trying to, you're not going to make this all happen overnight. It's like a lot of sports teams. You got your first game. Reminded of a great story when Magic Johnson was a rookie with the Lakers, of course, and they played their first game against the then San Diego Clippers. That's how long ago that was. And they won the game on a last second hook shot by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They won the game, and Magic ran over to Kareem and grabbed him in this gigantic bear hug, and he's squeezing him like they just won the championship. Kareem had this look on his face, and he tells Magic, he said, calm down, we got 81 more games to go. So, we didn't win the championship tonight. And so sometimes we try to do things with our own energy. And that's why many of us, even at the beginning of the year, that's why the Lord dropped this on us this week, is because many of us at the beginning of the year, the first month has gone by, the year is going by pretty fast, but we're trying to make everything happen that we have had in our mind for the whole year. And we're trying to make it happen in the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the year. Pace yourself. Slow down. Little by little. Let's jump into this quick word. I got a scripture for you. And as the Lord is bringing, it's over in Exodus chapter number 23. And the Lord is laying out some laws and some rules and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, Exodus, I believe 20 is where we find what we call the 10 Commandments and all those things. And so he lays out the rules on how you're going, some guidelines about how you're going to live your life and how you're going to interact with one another and how you're going to operate. And so he's laying it out through Moses, and he's given them this instruction. And so, and the Lord is telling them in this 23rd chapter, I'm sending my angel ahead of you. I'm sending him, and he's going to lead and guide you. And he said, be careful how you deal with him. You got to obey his voice, and he's telling them obedience is going to be key as you're moving forward. He's given them a winning strategy. He's given them guidelines and direction on how this is going to work, how they're going to, I'm going to take you into this promised land. I'm going to do all these things. Now, of course, we know that this generation that was receiving this word at this time did not actually make it because of unbelief and disobedience, and murmuring and complaining and all that stuff. But he's giving them some instruction on how to win. And he's giving them instructions on how to succeed. The Lord will give us instructions if we take enough time to listen. It's going to make sense in a moment. He says, don't bow, you're going to go. And the Lord knows where we're going. That's a word. That's a word for somebody that the Lord just dropped in my spirit. And write that in the comments real quick. He knows where I'm going. He knows where I'm going. He knows where I'm headed. And so the Lord knows what's ahead of you. He knows what's in store for you. And as he's given this instruction, he tells them, now don't start bowing down or serving other gods. Don't start getting involved. Don't go when you go into the promised land. Of course, it's going to be 40 something years later. But he said, when you go into the promised land, don't start picking up these idols. Don't start trying to worship them. He said, because the Lord is not going to be pleased with that. He said, but I'm going to tell you this. He said, if you serve the Lord God, he will bless your bread. He'll bless your water. He'll take sickness away from you. He's telling them, I'm going to do all this stuff for you if you just obey me, follow my instruction. That's right. He knows where I'm going. Hallelujah. And so if he knows where you're going, then we ought to be obedient to what he tells us is about to happen. So he's given us warnings. He's given us instructions. Just like I grew up in an era where your parents could send you to the store with some money and they would tell you exactly what to buy. So we had to learn how to navigate to the store and get change, and how much change we should be getting, right? And bring whatever she told us to get, bring it back, right? So it was that he's given instruction. This is how you're going to operate. This is how I'm going to bless you in the promised land. All right. He knows where. Thank you all for writing that. He said, I'm going to send my fear ahead of you. I'm going to send hornets and basically insects ahead of you that are going to drive the enemy back. My fear, and then the insects are going to drive the enemy back. Watch this. And so then he says in verse number 29, and now he said, I'm driving the enemy out. Please catch this word real quick and we'll be done. He says, I won't drive them out in 1 year. Let me say that again, verse 29. He says, I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year. And so he's telling them it's going to take some time. I'm not driving them out of the promised land overnight. He says, I'm not going to do it right away. He's given, and it's interesting that God understands. If I do something overnight, we're going to create another problem. Some of us are creating our own problems because we try to do things overnight. And I'll tell you what he says. He says, I won't drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. He said, I'm not driving the enemy away, because if I do, there'll be nobody to take care of the land. And then the wild animals will be too numerous for you to handle. Somebody better catch that word. Sometimes if things happen for us overnight, then now we got a problem because we can't take care of the things that the folks we drove out took care of. Oh, there's a word right there for America right now. Oh, we trying to get rid of this, trying to get rid of all this. And then now you got houses, you got land, you got all these things that folks take care of that are not being taken care of. He says, I'm going to do it. Watch this. By little, verse 30, by little and little, I will drive them out before thee. Watch this. Until thou be increased and inherit the land. Some things shouldn't happen overnight because we are not strong enough to handle it yet. We've seen too many stories of somebody that had quote unquote overnight success. And they got all this money, they got all this fame, and they're gone. They dropped off the scene almost as soon as as quickly as they came in, they're gone already. Why? It was too much too soon. They didn't pace themselves. They didn't let it happen little by little. I know you want to get that building project done, but sometimes you got to pace yourself, time it out. Let the Lord, it's going to take some time. Write that in the comments, say it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen the moment you think about it. It's going to take some time. Everything that's worthwhile takes time. Love, relationships, bonds, how you bond together, that takes time. That doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take some time. Thank you all for writing. It's going to take some time, and it's okay. Pace yourself. Let me read this in the Amplified. I will not drive them out from before you in a single year, so that the land does not become desolate due to lack of attention. Hear what that said. The land will become desolate because you can't give it attention. When you pace yourself, you can give things that need attention the proper attention. You can take care of the details when you take your time. Watch this. Due to lack of attention, and the wild animals of the field do not become too numerous for you. That can become too much of a problem. So now instead of moving in and occupying the land, you're busy fighting off wild animals. Watch this. I will drive them out before you little by little. And here's the last part I want to get in your spirit. Until you have increased and are strong enough to take possession of the land. Until you are strong, are increased. You and understand, while you're trying to make something happen, you're still growing. You're still developing. You're still getting stronger. He says, until you have increased, and then you can take possession of the land. I don't know what the big project is you got coming. I don't know what you got in mind. I don't know what the Lord has told you, but pace yourself. This year, the Lord's got great things in store for so many of us, all of us, right? But we got to pace ourselves. I find myself, oh, well, I need to, and the Lord will remind you, you need to calm down first. You need to pace yourself first. You need to just relax. Everything's going to happen when it's supposed to happen and in the way that God has ordained it. Pace yourself. He's going to do it little by little. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I don't know who that's for. I hope it's for everybody. I know it's for me. I gotta be able to just, relax. Everything will be here soon enough in due season. All right. God bless you. Have a great rest of your week. Happy Valentine's Day. I just might as well to all the ladies, because y'all the ones that get in on it. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day and great blessings. I will be having our monthly leadership session, and we have a good one this week. Oh man, y'all got to tune in on Saturday. Spirit and Life International. You see the Zoom information on your screen. The Leaders Lab, falling idols and shrinking circles. Falling idols and shrinking circles. Y'all got to check that out. 10 o'clock on Zoom, 10 o'clock a.m. on Zoom this Saturday, Valentine's Day. You'll still have time to do something for your sweetheart. But anyway, we're going to be talking about falling idols and shrinking circles. Sometimes when the Lord is getting ready to move you and elevate you to do great things, some idols have got to fall and your circle is going to shrink. And it's okay. Don't lose your mind over it. See me on Saturday. And of course, Sunday, Spirit and Life Ministries, we will be here 10:15, our worship experience. It's going to be powerful as it is every week, 10:15 a.m. online and in person. All right. God bless you. We love you. We're praying for you. Leaders, keep going. You're going to be all right, but pace yourself. Don't burn out because you got a long way to go, little by little. God bless you. Good night, everybody.